Hold up.
I hope you're having a great day and I hope you had a great year. Today is the end of 2021. And there's a simple exercise, a very simple exercise that all of us can do today. While you may use this day to be with your family, with your friends, to party, this exercise shouldn't take you more than 15 to 20 minutes. And it's a powerful exercise that you can do. It's called reflection. You see, life is moving too fast today. Everyone's moving too fast. We fail to look back and reflect on the day gone by, the week gone by. We're constantly filling our head with more content. We fail to reflect. Use the last day of the year for reflection. And why? Because reflection teaches you lessons that you don't learn in the books. You see, a lot of people think that they only should learn from their mistakes, but life gives us the opportunity to learn from other people's mistakes as well. It's not that we want people to make mistakes, but everyone makes mistakes. And they say a smart person learns from his mistakes or her mistakes. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes as well. So through reflection, we go through 2021. Everyone just mindlessly labels things. People say, oh, it was a bad year, there was pandemic, there's still gonna be a pandemic. But what about the good things that happened? Okay, there's always good and bad in life. There's no one who just has it bad all the time. So the whole point is when we practice reflection, we also get to choose to put energy and attention on the good things that happened. It's very easy, the human mind, to follow only the bad, pick up the struggles, pick up the downs, pick up what's gonna, everyone's already predicting a bad start to the year with all the virus numbers going up and stuff like that. Okay, it's happening, be aware. 2022 has to be a year of consciousness, of awareness, where we learn to start living with mindfulness and awareness, because you cannot control what is happening around you. None of us. We cannot control anything. So the only thing that you can do is take a step back and start to live consciously. Okay, what's happening in the world? What can we learn from what's happening? What can we learn from the media, the negativity in the media? What can we learn from corruption? What can we learn from the healthcare system, the sick care system? What can we learn from ourselves, our own mistakes? Reflection is one of the most powerful teachers in life. And all of us live our own life in our own way on different paths, and we try to, correct ourselves through knowledge and books. It's good, but what about your own mistakes? So use today to reflect on 2021. What went well for you? What didn't go well for you? Okay, were you operating from a space of fear? Were you operating from a space of courage, a space of strength, a space of love? Because you've got to understand one thing right now. When we constantly operate from a space of fear, okay, everything revolves around fear. Our decisions, our actions, our behavior, and experience of life. And that's what happens. That's why I say conscious living, because everything around us is designed to instill fear into us. Fear to buy something new. Fear, to get some new checkups done. Fear. There's fear all around. Just look at that. My point is, that's why we need conscious living. If you're trying to find your peace, if you're trying to, you've hit rock bottom and you're trying to come back up again, you can use all the help in the world. You can use all the techniques on all the books and the wisdom, but number one, you got to start living consciously. You got to start being aware of your perfect truth and your perfect lies as well. The perfect lies that you tell yourself every single day. The perfect truth that you know, but you don't practice. All of this can only happen from a state of consciousness. We have to awaken. We have to awaken because a lot of people are not awake. And that's why the world around you can confuse you with content. They can confuse you with influencing. They can confuse you with fear. They can confuse you with everything. But a person who's mindful, you understand there's fear and where to keep it. You understand there are negatives and where to keep it. It's very important to keep the negatives in their own space. It's very important to keep fear in its own space. The moment you engage fear or you engage negativity, you become part of it. You become entangled in it. And then you start getting drawn into it and it just spirals downwards all the way. So we have to be aware and conscious. And that's why mindfulness is your key ingredient for anything that you want to improve in your life in 2022, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your health, whether it's a disease that you may have, whether it's your personal growth, whether it's your business, whether it's your career. You need mindfulness first. Because when you really step back, most people start to realize the lie that they're living. Most people start to see that, why am I doing these things to please other people who don't even matter? Most people start to see that they're living someone else's dream. And you don't have to feel bad about that. Now it means that you're awake, you're aware of what you need to change. And that's how we evolve in life. That's how we get better, not because people tell us to get better, not because we're constantly motivated to get better. It's because we awaken and we realize that this is not the life I want to live anymore. This is not the kind of health I want anymore. And for that, I got to make changes. For the person who comes for weight loss or weight gain, to the person who comes with a deadly disease, there is all something that they should be doing and they're not doing it. We have to understand that. For the relationships that are failing, there are both partners who are equally responsible. It is never one, and it can never be one. But only a conscious, awakened person can see that. You can still make a choice to stay in a relationship or leave, but you got to be awakened to why that relationship has not worked out. You can change 10 relationships and still be the most unhappiest person in the world because you failed to change. It's also very, very important for us before I end this live today. So that's why I say reflection, okay? And think about this. I've been doing my share of reflection over the last 2 days, and I usually spend my last day of the year with a sunset by myself, reflecting on the year gone by. Something else that's popping up all over social media and everything else and stuff like that. You have people saying you shouldn't get into dating. You know, love doesn't work. Marriages don't work. XYZ doesn't work. That's fine. Everyone has their own opinion. But I want you to be aware of one thing. One thing. They say nature doesn't work when it comes to your healing and your recovery and stuff like that. Everyone has an opinion. But you got to understand one thing. If all of these things didn't work, they wouldn't exist. But there are great marriages. There are great relationships. There are people where love keeps them alive, literally. There are happy friendships, all of that stuff. Be very mindful of the people who tell you these things don't work. They are only projecting what has not worked for them onto you. They are mindlessly projecting their own shortcomings, their failures, and their fears on you. So you see, these kind of people, it's about them. It's not about you. It's not about you. Everyone trying to tell you how to live your life, it's about them. It's not about you. It's got to be about you at some point. So like I said, dating, love, marriages, different ways to regain your health, whether it's meditation, it's pranayama, it's eating healthy. Everyone has their own opinion. You got to start doing what's right for you. Stop listening to people, what they say all the time when they're projecting that this doesn't work, that doesn't work. It didn't work for them. It may work for you. That's why no one can ever say something's wrong. While low carb may work for someone, high carb is perfect for someone else. While a keto diet may work for someone else, it may be their worst nightmare, destroys their health. While some people fast for 16 hours, some people get the same results in 12 hours. Everyone is different. Stop letting people control your 2022. You got to take back that power that you've given away. You got to take that inner peace back that you've handed over to other people. And you can only do that when you're mindful. Because when you're not mindful, you're out of control. So you want to outsource your peace to someone else. You want to outsource your health to someone else. You want to outsource your emotions to someone else. And then you get pulled in all directions like a puppet. So to reclaim that, mindfulness, awareness, consciousness. 2022 is going to be amazing. You got to rekindle the inner physician in you when it comes to your health. The inner physician. Take your medicines if you have to. Take your treatments if you have to. I don't have a problem with that. But my point is, if you're not activating that intelligence within you, that physician within you, what are some of those physicians? Fasting, smart fasting. Not the fasting that social media tells you. They put you into a box of 16 hours or 18 hours, or they do these 9-day fast and stuff. You select what works for you. But fasting, done the right way, respectfully, is an inner physician. It's a doctor that everyone has within you. Sunlight. I can tell you right now, most people are sick today because of low vitamin D levels. No matter what anyone says, the science is there, the medical science is there, but it never makes mainstream media. It never makes mainstream news, because guess what? You can get sunlight, or you can buy an over-the-counter supplement if your levels are low. And you will get better when your vitamin D levels are optimum. Optimum. You have to understand that that's another inner physician that you have in you. While the world is screaming COVID cases and all of that stuff, why aren't they screaming to you the solutions? Is the solution really just the vaccination? I'm not against vaccinations, but you can look around right now and see people even with booster doses and everything. It's not worked. So I'm not saying that the vaccinations have not worked. The one route of vaccinations is not enough. You got to activate your inner physicians, your immune system. Why is your immune system so weak that even besides getting vaccinations, you're still getting COVID? And why are some people throughout the last 2 years, they've been amongst people who had the COVID, but they've not gotten COVID even once? What's the difference? Can you really say that it's only vaccinations? It's beyond vaccinations. You take the vaccination if you have to, and if it's your country's rule. But beyond that, who's looking at vitamin D? Who's looking at the power of vitamin B12? Who's looking at sunlight? Who's looking at sleep? Show me the news where one news channel has covered the relationship of sleep deprivation with your immune system. One news channel doesn't exist. What you're watching is for ratings. What you're watching is for someone else to make a lot of money. If the news is supposed to be valuable to us, while they tell you the negatives, where are the positives? Not one news channel has covered the importance of sleep and the medical documented studies of sleep deprivation with a low immune system. What about breathing, your breath work? 1 in 2 people breathe the wrong way. When we know today the right breath and oxygen is what your immune system needs to protect you. Where's the limelight on that? Where's the focus on that? Where's the commotion about people not breathing the right way, getting the right amount of vitamin D? Sleep, nutrition, we all know. While the food lobbies are pumping you with sugar and white flour and processed food, we all know that medical science shows you a decrease in the immune system with an increase in white sugar and processed foods. Ultra-processed foods decrease the immune system. How come you're not hearing about that on mainstream? You want to decide where you put your attention, focus, and energy in 2022. The inner physicians that will always work for you, is the power of fasting, sunlight, hydration, quality water, sleep, powerful sleep. When you have a company like Netflix that says their job is to make sure that you don't sleep, and you still feel that you want to give all of your time to a company who has a vision like that, it's ridiculous. Use Netflix, but if you become a slave to it, the problem is actually with you. The problem is with you. Your sleep is important, your mental peace. Today, top surgeons and doctors and cardiologists from around the world have been screaming over the last 2 years, your chronic stress is creating inflammation in your heart, your lungs, and when you have high inflammation, your immune system is low. What about that? What about your stress levels? Everyone's just moving with life, trying to fill little voids and fill potholes in their life. The point is, no one's telling you the truth. That sometimes in life, yeah, you may have all the problems in the world. The world's also kind of made you emotionally weak by feeding you comfort, by feeding you lies all the time. Sometimes you got to be hard in life. You got to be hard. You got to suck it up and move on. No one's telling you that because people are scared to tell you, suck it up and move on. Okay? Your problems are your problems. You got to deal with it at some point. Take the help if you need it, but deal with your problems. You got to get out of the rut that you're in. You got to stop wallowing in self-pity. You got to stop wallowing in all of that stuff and move on. Like everyone else, you're not the only one suffering. There are millions and millions of people who have it worse than you. But sometimes we need that little shock. We need that little shock because people are emotionally crumbling. And which industry is profiting from that? The pharmaceuticals, the mental health industry, and all of that stuff. All of that stuff. They're not telling you up front. If you didn't have the access to the internet today, or you didn't have access to mental health the way it's whatever and stuff like that, you would be dealing with it like people before you dealt with it when they didn't have this much of information. So sometimes you got to suck it up and you got to see if you're responsible for making yourself emotionally weak, your children emotionally weak, and society emotionally weak. There will always be weak and strong. I'm not against the weak, I'm not against the strong, but A society that's crumbling emotionally, the problem is with society. And who's giving you the solutions? Here's another antidepressant. Here's another pill. And here's another pill and a pill and a pill. And you allow people to wallow in their self-pity without telling them, suck it up, move on. Take the help if you need. Do not take help if you need it. Sometimes you need help. Sometimes you need pills. But my problem is, when are you gonna suck it up and take responsibility for your life? Why society is crumbling today is because no one wants to take responsibility. No one wants a sad day. One sad day, you want to try to make it happy all the time with drugs and more alcohol and shopping and all of that stuff. What's wrong with a bad day? What's wrong with a bad week? Suck it up and move on. Suck it up and move on. Get inspiration from people who survived World War I, World War II. They had hard times. They were hardcore people. They got through life without phones, without talking to their loved ones, with being disconnected for years and for months and months. They survived happier than today's generation. Way happier than today's generation. Today's generation has everything. You got your Netflix, you have your Swiggies and Zomatos on call, everything. And yet people are depressed, unhappy, searching for more, constantly searching for more and more and more amidst everything that they have. Why? You're chasing the wrong thing. Everyone's lost connection with their inner self. 2022 is about consciousness, awareness, reconnecting with yourself. No fad diet's ever going to help you. No fad exercise program is ever going to help you. There is no supplement. I'm telling you right now, there is no supplement out there that can come and do the magic in your life. You got to create inner peace by connecting with yourself. And when you produce the right environment inside of you and outside of you, you create optimum health right there. So the right environment is also your inner physician. These are the inner physicians which I will bring to the limelight right through 2022. While you can take your drugs and everything else, your medication and stuff like that, activate the inner physicians within you if you want to make your year and your life better. Enough is enough. Everyone's handed over their peace to other people. They're thinking to other people. You got to have other people think for you. Imagine how your brain, your cognitive power is declining because you've even outsourced your thinking to other people. You're so scared to make a decision because you don't want to own the responsibility of your decision. So you want 10 opinions from 10 people to make a decision for you, and that's why you're so empty. So activate all of these inner physicians in you. I'm going to repeat them. The power of smart fasting, living the circadian way, at least on most days, if not all days, circadian rhythm living. Your sleep, your movement, move more in 2022. Move more and move smart. You don't have to do anything extreme. Your nutrition, keep it simple. You don't need complication. There's enough of complication in the world right now in the space of nutrition. And what do you have? Disease at its highest. There's complication in medication and medicine. Disease at its highest. Why can't you reflect, think back today? Is this really the truth that the world is selling you? Or do you need to step back and take things in your own hands by activating your inner physician along with everything else that you're doing? So fasting, sunlight. If you don't have sunlight in the place that you live, vitamin D. You got to check your levels, and if they're low, you want to bump them up. And I'm giving you an example. All reference ranges on medical reports are different. So for a normal report, it's like a 30 to 100. If you're at 30, it's not enough. If the maximum range is 100, you want to be at 70. You want to be at 80. You want to be at 90 because you're looking at optimum health. You're not looking at average health. You want to check your B12 levels and you want to maintain your B12 levels. You want to look at your sleep and your emotional wellness. If you can do this, you've activated your inner physician. If you can create the right environment outside of you, which means your relationships, your people, the people you surround yourself with, the work that you do, you're still stuck in a job that you hate, wrong environment, you are going to be sick. You're not going to be able to get better. If the environment is wrong, you cannot get better. The internal environment and external environment. Have a beautiful 2022, everyone. From the second onwards, I am going to lead sessions on fasting. I'm going to lead sessions on visualization and reflection and all the inner physicians. That's my only focus because I can tell you right now, diets do not work. Yes, they work when you're eating for your disease. Yes, they work to put you into a nice framework of food according to your body type, your condition, your goals, and all of that stuff. But diets don't work. You have an inner physician that's telling you all the time what to eat, what not to eat, how much to eat, what time to eat. You got to listen. For that, you need mindfulness, awareness, and consciousness. I wish you and your families a beautiful 2022. Use today by yourself, 30 minutes, reflect, because with reflection comes gratitude. You get to see all the stuff that you actually got in 2022 that you cannot see because you're too busy focusing on what didn't go right for you. I wish you and your families a happy new year. I'm taking a break till tomorrow. Have a beautiful, beautiful 2022. Thank you for all your support during this year. It's always motivating and inspiring to see all of your messages, all of the love. I get a lot of hate as well, and I love seeing that hate because it just makes me more reassured about the path that I've chosen. I see so many of my fans in different countries across the world, right from Siberia to South Africa to Canada to Trinidad. It's amazing to see all the people that follow me. It's my personal wish to meet y'all at some point. In every country that I visit, I want to do a walk, and if you can join me for that walk, I would love to connect, at some point face to face with so many of you. And I hope this lifetime makes that possible for me and for you. Have a great new year, everyone.